You ever listen to a harp player and their tone is just so soulful and expressive and it just sounds so good? And then you think about your own sound and it just feels kind of flat and dull in comparison? Well, there's usually not just one thing going on here, let's be real, but there's a lot of different skills that all kind of layer in to give them a great harmonica tone. And one of those things that we're going to talk about today is glissando. Glissando is a simple slide, sounds like this. And what I've found working with students over the years is that I think most people understand glissando, but very few people actually use it in an intentional way. And that's what I'm going to help you with today. I want to show you, first of all, how to do glissando, where you can throw it in your own playing so you can actually start integrating this into your improvised sound and just be a better harmonica player. So to give you an idea of what this actually sounds like, what lacking it sounds like, and then adding it back in sounds like, I'm going to go jump into a jam. Now I'm on a B flat harp, so I'm going to be playing in second position. This would be the key of F. I'm going to be playing a minor blues, so technically we are an F minor, and I'm going to be using the blues scale, okay? Just a little bit of setup information. I'll have the tabs on the screen if you want to go learn this on your own. I'm going to do like two parts of this demo. The first part, I'm not going to use any glissando, and the second part, I'm going to add it in pretty frequently, and I just want you to listen to see how much it adds, and I'll talk to you about how we can go and add it into our own playing afterwards. All right, let's go jump into the demo. All right, I'm gonna keep it simple to start. Tabs will be on the screen. I'm gonna keep my playing simple to start. Take a listen. All right, now I'm gonna play it up with glissando and just see how this changes it. Here we go. Pretty cool, right? So obviously I played this up a little bit more than normal, but I think you get the idea. When you add glissando in there, you're just adding the sound of so much more complexity. It's just a really great vibe that if you could learn how to control it and actually add it into your playing, you are gonna sound like a better harmonica player. Now, I just wanna say right now that I'm improvising over a blues backing track, and if you don't know how to do that, or if you feel like you don't know how to do it well, like you could do it, but you're kind of playing all the same things, maybe playing the same riffs, maybe just following the chords, and you want to be better, I suggest you check out my Start Soloing workshop. It is a totally free harmonica improvising workshop where I teach you over 3 days how to improvise over blues backing tracks and actually sound musical and good. So if that's at all interesting to you, it's totally free. Links down below in the description, so you can go and sign up and get started with it today. So let's talk about how to just get a good glissando sound really quickly. So if you want to do a glissando on 4 draw, all you're going to do is you're going to start inhaling at about 2 draw, and you're going to very quickly go and then stop at that 4 draw note. That's what it sounds like, okay? So you can glissando up, you can glissando on a draw, on a blow. Like if you go all the way up to like 9 blow, it sounds something like this. And one thing that's very useful to practice is just pick a target hole. So like pick 4 draw and then just do a bunch over and over. And you'll notice that sometimes you'll kind of miss on the single notes like I did right there. And this is just a good way to practice kind of cleaning this action up because it needs to be relatively clean if you want to use it in your music. So of course you can glissando up, you can glissando down. I find this to be very useful for 2 draw, 1 draw, and 1 blow. Anything above that is a little iffy because you have to start so high. So like, that's the 1 draw. And those are easier because you have a very clear stopping point. So I would just practice your glissando and just practice landing on one particular note and just getting reps in so you can get it sounding good. And once you have a decent glissando tone, then you gotta play with where you're actually adding that to your phrases to make it actually sound good, like it's just a normal part of your playing. So let's get into that next. All right, so when you're improvising, and I explain a lot more about this inside of Start Soloing, but you're gonna wanna break your playing down into phrases, and those phrases are gonna use whatever scale that matches currently up with the music. So in this case, I'm on a B flat harmonica, I'm playing in 2nd position, so I'm gonna use the blues scale, which is an F minor scale. Okay, so I'm using the blues scale, and I'm gonna make phrases, and this is just gonna be a couple notes grouped together, like, all right, now as far as your glissando, I usually think of this in like 3 different categories. So one is that I do the glissando at the beginning of the phrase. This works the best when you have a little bit of room to move to it, and it's gonna sound natural. So as an example, if you start a phrase on 4 draw, and you go down the blues scale like that, just do some glissando to that first note. All right, you see how I'm doing that? It's not that hard, right? But you have to practice actually getting that in your sound. And the way that I suggest you do this is a process I call intentional improvising. So essentially what you do is you put on the backing track and you would practice doing that particular iteration of glissando at the start of your phrases as you jam for like 5-10 minutes, and maybe a couple jams over the course of a day or a couple days until you're really good at that one action. And then you move to another way of using glissando. And I explain how to do all of this in Start Soloing, but that's what I would begin with. I would add glissando to the start of your phrases, and I would practice using it with intentional improvising, putting on the backing tracks, jamming, and every time you make a phrase, start it with a glissando. So in the middle and high octave, you'd want to slide up, right? If you're doing anything in the low octave, then you're going to want to slide down and just practice getting used to that motion. And this is like the most important one. If you could do this, you're already pulling off a convincing glissando sound in your phrases. So next is something where you're going to use this in the middle of your phrase. And this one's a little harder, but it actually sounds a lot cooler. So I would just make a phrase, something like this. And I would pick a note, like the 4 blow in there, and I'd do glissando to it. And I'd practice making phrases like that, again, for a while, playing over backing tracks where that is your only focus, okay? And the last way that I end up using this is on the final note of a phrase. So I go make a phrase like that. It works really well when you go up to 6 blow or maybe 9 blow. Less good on the 2 draw because the glissandos down just don't sound as good. So it would be mostly glissandoing up. So you make a phrase, like that, and you throw in a glissando right there before the last note. Another cool thing that you can do, and I notate this slightly differently in my tabs that you may have seen earlier, is that you can end on a certain note and then slide down. So like, I'm going to do the same thing up high. So what I'm doing there is that when I get to that 9 blow, I keep my air going and I start to fade out as I slide the harmonica down. Okay? And that's just a cool thing to add this little bit of a tail, like a little bit of a grace note at the end of a phrase, and it sounds really cool. Another cool thing you can do is you can add a glissando before every note in a sequence. So let's say you make a phrase that just like goes up the scale, you can add a glissando before every note. So like, and that's another great way to practice. You know, all of these things can just be integrated into your practice. You want to do some scale practice one day and you want to get better at glissandos? Do a scale and do glissandos before every note. So all of these things, if you got the right practice systems down, as in you're practicing your scales every day, you're jamming over backing tracks, and just like choose one little iteration of this to focus on, and you'll get better and you'll get more used to this sound, and you'll be able to get this in your tone. So your playing stops being so flat and really starts getting all that life that you want in it. And a lot of this just comes from techniques like glissando that are thoughtfully applied to your music. So that's what I have for you today. Go check out Start Soloing, entirely free, down in the description. If you want to learn how to improvise over blues backing tracks and learn how to do this intentional improvising thing that I'm talking about, scale practice, all this kind of stuff, I go over everything there. So that's it for this week. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.